My 73rd birthday party became Jessica's stage for the performance of her life. The living room was packed with family and neighbors, all gathered around the store-bought cake. "Sorry it's not homemade, Margaret," Jessica announced loudly. "But with your condition, I didn't want you near the stove." My condition. Jessica's favorite phrase lately. Everything I did was blamed on my condition. Forgetting my glasses, asking her to repeat mumbled words, or questioning her decisions about my life. "Now Margaret, blow out your candles before you forget what we're celebrating." The room chuckled uncomfortably. My son David shifted but said nothing. He'd learned disagreeing with Jessica meant weeks of silent treatment. I blew out the candles, surrounded by people who were supposed to love me, feeling utterly alone. "Speech. Speech," someone called. Jessica clapped. Margaret loves speeches. Though lately, she repeats herself, "Don't you, sweetie?" I stood slowly, using my cane. "Thank you all for..." "Margaret." Jessica interrupted. "You already thanked everyone. See folks? She's getting confused." I hadn't thanked anyone. Jessica had positioned herself at the door while I sat in the corner chair she'd designated as safest. "Oh honey," Jessica guided me back down like I was an invalid. "All this excitement might be too much." She spoke to the room as if I couldn't hear. "The doctor says overstimulation is hard on people with dementia." Mrs. Patterson looked concerned. I had no idea Margaret was diagnosed with dementia. "I haven't been," I said firmly. Now, Jessica patted my shoulder. "Denial is common. It's part of the disease." Dr. Williams, Jessica's book club friend, nodded. "Quite typical. Patients are often last to recognize cognitive decline." "When did you examine me, doctor?" I asked. Jessica jumped in. "Margaret sees Dr. Williams regularly. Don't you remember? Short-term memory issues." The lie was so smooth that people nodded sympathetically. I'd never spoken to Dr. Williams beyond neighborhood hellos. "Actually," Jessica's voice turned serious, "David and I have been discussing Margaret's situation with our lawyer." David looked up sharply. This was news to him too. "We've been researching memory care facilities. Places that specialize in Margaret's challenges. We think it's time for a transition." The room fell silent. "Jessica, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "Oh sweetie, I know this is hard. But we're family. We want what's best." She addressed the room like giving a presentation. "Margaret can't live independently anymore. She gets confused about bills, forgets to eat, sometimes doesn't recognize where she is." All lies. Yesterday's confusion was me reading in the kitchen at 11 p.m. We found a lovely place called Sunset Manor. They have activities, professional care. The only challenge is cost. Here it comes. Margaret owns this house. Jessica gestured around the living room. While it breaks our hearts to sell it, we have to be practical about care needs. Mrs. Patterson gasped. "You're selling Margaret's house?" "We don't want to, but memory care is expensive. Plus, this house is too big, and she could get hurt on these stairs." David finally spoke. "Jessica, we shouldn't discuss this at Mom's birthday." "Honey, your mother needs help making decisions. People with dementia can't understand complex financial matters." Dr. Williams nodded. "Legal capacity becomes compromised as the disease progresses." Jessica had planned this moment perfectly. In front of family and neighbors, she was painting me as incompetent while positioning herself as a reluctant hero. "We've spoken to a realtor. This house could sell for $400,000. That would cover years at Sunset Manor." I stood again, gripping my cane. Every eye showed pity and discomfort. "Excuse me. I need the bathroom." "Do you need help, sweetie?" Jessica asked with mock concern. "I think I can manage." I walked slowly toward the hallway, playing the confused elderly woman Jessica had cast me as. Behind me, her voice resumed explaining my deteriorating condition. In the bathroom, I locked the door and called Thomas Morrison, my lawyer for over a decade. "Margaret? How's the party?" "Thomas, execute the contingency plan we discussed." Pause. "Are you sure? Once we do this, there's no going back." Through the door, I heard Jessica describing Sunset Manor's beautiful gardens, And how much happier I'd be there. I'm sure. How quickly? Papers ready by morning. Are you prepared for fallout? I looked in the mirror. For months, Jessica claimed I was losing my mind. Tomorrow, she'd learn how sharp it really was. Let me worry about the fallout. Consider it done. Happy birthday, Margaret. I returned to find Jessica showing Sunset Manor brochures on her phone. Oh good. I was showing everyone the beautiful facility. Look at this dining room. I sat back down and smiled. Very nice, Jessica. Very nice indeed. I was awake before dawn with coffee and Thomas Morrison's paperwork spread across the kitchen table. Everything was legal, binding, and devastating. Jessica and David stumbled downstairs around 9, both hungover from last night's wine. Good morning, Margaret. Jessica used her artificially bright voice. We think we should visit Sunset Manor today. Get you familiar with your new home. That's thoughtful, but unnecessary. Jessica laughed. Oh sweetie, this is happening whether you like it or not. We put down a deposit. David looked uncomfortable. Maybe we should slow down. Give Mom time to adjust. Honey, we discussed this. The longer we wait, the worse her condition gets. I set down my coffee cup. Jessica, there's something I need to tell you. Of course, sweetie. I spoke with my lawyer last night. Jessica's smile faltered. Margaret, you don't have a lawyer. People with dementia can't make legal decisions. Thomas Morrison disagrees. David frowned. Who's Thomas Morrison? My estate attorney. He's handled my affairs since your father died, managing my investments and property holdings. Jessica went pale. Property holdings? You just own this house. I pulled out Thomas's folder. Actually, I own quite a bit more. I spread documents across the table like dealing cards. Property deeds, investment statements, trust documents. What is this? David picked up a deed. The deed to 1247 Maple Street. The house you've been living in for 2 years. Jessica snatched the paper. Impossible. We own that house. We have a mortgage. You have a mortgage I co-signed. But I purchased the property outright 6 months ago when you were facing foreclosure. David's mouth fell open. Mom, you said you were just helping with payments. I said I was helping. I didn't specify how much. Jessica frantically shuffled papers. You don't have this kind of money. You live on Social Security. I live simply. There's a difference. I pointed to another document. My investment portfolio. Current value, $2.4 million. Jessica dropped the papers. $2.4 million. And this, I pulled out another deed, is the property where Sunset Manor sits. I bought it 3 months ago after learning about their care violations. David stared. You bought Sunset Manor. I bought the land underneath. Their lease expires next month, and I'm not renewing. Turns out they've been billing Medicare for non-existent services. Jessica was hyperventilating. This is insane. You have dementia. I pulled out a final document. This is from Dr. Harrison Mitchell, Chief of Geriatric Psychiatry. Last week, he conducted a comprehensive cognitive evaluation. I handed David the letter. Results show I have the mental acuity of someone 20 years younger. No dementia, no cognitive impairment. Jessica grabbed the letter. You can't have gotten tested without us knowing. I'm a competent adult with full legal capacity. Something Dr. Williams will confirm when the medical board reviews her false statements. The kitchen fell silent except for Jessica's panicked breathing. Now, let's discuss your living situation. David found his voice. What do you mean? Since I own your house, and you've demonstrated such concern about my mental capacity, let's clarify things. I walked to the window overlooking their yard. My yard, technically. Yesterday, you told everyone I'm incompetent and need institutionalization so you can sell my house. You presented this as noble sacrifice. Jessica was crying angry tears. We were trying to help. Were you? Because it looked like you were trying to have me declared incompetent to control my assets. I turned back. Good news, I'm not incompetent. Bad news, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. David slumped. Mom, what are you saying? You have 30 days to find a new place. Jessica shot up like she'd been electrocuted. You can't evict us. We have rights. Actually, you don't. You're month-to-month tenants, and I'm giving proper notice. David, say something. She's lost her mind. David looked shell-shocked. Mom, this seems extreme. Can't we work something out? We could have worked something out before you let your wife announce I'm mentally incompetent at my birthday party. I poured more coffee with steady hands. That's the thing about being senile. People think you can't hear them, can't understand their plans. They get careless. Jessica paced frantically. Margaret, we were worried about you living alone. The house is so big. I'm getting older, not stupid. I wasn't living alone until you convinced David I was too confused to take care of myself. Mom, David said quietly, if you own our house, why didn't you tell us? Because I wanted to see how far your wife would go. Now I know. I showed them a recording app on my phone. I have yesterday's entire party recorded. Especially the part where Jessica discussed my dementia with people who thought they were getting medical information. Jessica went white. You recorded us. My house, my party, my legal right. Thomas thinks it's compelling evidence of attempted financial exploitation. David buried his face in his hands. I should have stood up for you. Yes, you should have. But you chose your wife over your mother. Jessica frantically typed on her phone. I'm calling Dr. Williams. She'll confirm your condition. Ask her about penalties for providing false medical information about someone who isn't your patient. Jessica's phone slipped from her hands. The thing about manipulation, Jessica, is you have to be smarter than your target. You assumed old means stupid. That was your mistake. I walked to the counter where I'd laid out one more document. Your second mistake was not researching Sunset Manor. Did you know they're under investigation for elder abuse? 3 suspicious deaths this year. David looked up sharply. What? Interesting place you chose for me. Almost like you didn't care about my welfare. Jessica sobbed real tears now. Margaret, please. We're family. Family doesn't try to have each other declared incompetent to steal their money. I opened the front door. Thomas Morrison was walking up with his briefcase. 30 days. And Jessica? If you ever speak to another medical professional about my mental state, you'll hear from Thomas about defamation charges. David stood slowly. Mom, is there any way to fix this? You could have fixed it yesterday by defending me. You chose not to. Thomas knocked. Good morning, Margaret. Ready to proceed? Ready, Thomas. Jessica made one last attempt. What about our future grandchildren? I looked at her calmly. You spent months telling people I was losing my mind to justify taking my house. You think I want you raising my grandchildren? As Thomas entered with legal documents, I felt a weight lifting I hadn't even realized was there. Oh, one more thing. Mrs. Patterson called this morning. After you left last night, the whole neighborhood discussed elder abuse. Very enlightening, according to her. Jessica's face crumpled. You've destroyed everything. No, Jessica. I've stopped letting you destroy me. As they sat with Thomas to review their non-existent legal options, I walked to my garden. The morning sun was bright, the air crisp, and for the first time in months, I felt completely clear-headed. Turns out, there's nothing quite as therapeutic as getting rid of people who want to convince the world you're crazy.